So I'm making this video because this is really important. Women are dying every day from simply not being aware of what's going on. And this is like a really, really serious thing that's going on. And a lot of women are unaware. And so they're sadly losing their lives and being abused, or their lives are being changed forever because they're not aware of what's going on. And it's very important that this gets shared. So please share this with every woman if you care about the well being of women. A lot of women have been treated very, very, very badly, and expecting men in their lives that are supposed to protect them to do just that. They're expecting men to protect them, and in return, men are abusing them financially, physically, emotionally, in every single way. And there's a lot of women that are unaware at the extent that this is actually happening. So many women are being abused, and like it's just so bad. It's so bad. And so women need to wake up to the reality of the situation. We can't just keep going about our daily lives acting like nothing is happening, nothing is out of the ordinary. Like, you can't just move as you could around society like you could maybe 10 or 20 years ago. Like, the level in which things have changed is just crazy. And so, like, even from the years 2020 to 2022, like there has been like such a huge difference in like the dating scene and everything. And the pandemic had a lot to do with that. But I'm talking about just the way men are with women, how they interact with us. Everything has really, really changed a lot since then. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the changes and how different things are, how different things have been from 10 or 20 years ago, and why it's not safe to move that way anymore. So 10 or 20 years ago, you might have been able to go out to a bar or to a club, or, you know, just to go out, and you would meet guys, and, you know, that's how you would date. That's how you would go out, you would meet people, and, you know, a guy could buy you a drink, and you would go out on a date. And like, that is how a lot of people would meet. They met organically. They met, usually if they were like in a small town, they always would get married with people in their community. So, you know, you would probably meet someone in school, and then you would get married to that person, and, you know, they would be together for like their whole lives. But yeah, so that's how it used to be. And then it changed, and then the internet came along, and so online dating started. Like, there were so many more dating sites, and like men and women were meeting each other through dating sites, through like dating. They would meet each other online, and then, you know, meet in person eventually, and go out on dates, and they would get married. And that's how a lot of people actually met their husband or wife, is through a dating app. And so that was like the main way to date. Like, if you were considered a modern dater in the past 10 years, you probably were on some online dating sites. And like that was considered normal. Like there wasn't really a stigma. I'm sure when it first came out, there was probably a big stigma around it, but not anymore. It's not um like if you say you're dating online, like it's considered completely normal. Like no one would judge you, or you know, like it's not seen as something out of the ordinary. And so that is how a lot of people met each other and would get into relationships. And you know, ever since then, it's been the same. Like people are still trying to meet each other online, but there was a shift around when the pandemic happened. Around that time, where, you know, everyone was like in a panic about getting sick and stuff, there was like not a lot of people that wanted to meet. Like, not a lot of people wanted to meet in person because of the fear of getting sick and stuff. So, yeah, after that happened, like, it really changed the way that a lot of people communicate with each other, how people meet each other and get into relationships. Like, it's a lot different than how it was before the pandemic. And now there's a new form of dating, or, you know, interacting with people in the adult world, in the dating world. There's a new way now that after the pandemic, more and more people, since they were stuck at home, they've realized that there was this alternative way that they could, you know, meet online and spend time with each other without being in, you know, the immediate presence of the person. And, you know, I'll talk more about that, what the new way of dating is. But what I was trying to say before that is, between the period of the pandemic and where we are right now, there has been like all these different ways that men have been able to have access to women. Like, think about how the difference was when before online dating even existed, right? They had to meet someone in their community. All your options that you had to date were people that were just naturally around you, you know? Like before social media and before online dating sites, you didn't know who lived in another state or who lived in a different city. Like, you didn't necessarily know unless you had run into them, or unless you had run into them somehow. Like, you just wouldn't know who that person is, or that person even existed. So men were so used to being able to only have access to women that they naturally come across in life. So, you know, they held on much tighter to the woman that they were with. And that's why marriages lasted way longer in the past, even though, you know, you could argue that it's because women barely had rights, and like they couldn't leave if they really wanted to. But you would definitely see a lot less divorce back in the day, where online dating wasn't even a thing. But once online dating became a thing, and like men all of a sudden, like they could just go on the internet and they could have like a bunch of different options that they could choose. And it was a new thing, because before it was like, oh, you had to meet the person to know the person. But now it's like, oh, you can just find multiple different people, get to know them in a shorter amount of time without actually putting in the effort of like setting up a date or meeting in person. And you could um you could it was so much easier for them. Like, they didn't have to put as much effort into um, getting a woman to notice them, or courting a woman, because they had so many more options when online dating became a thing. And when this first happened, I think men and women were like bombarded with all their options, because it's crazy. Imagine being able to only know the people that you come across in life naturally in person, whereas online dating, you could just meet anyone from around the world, actually, or from your state or your city, and you felt like you had more options. So with that obviously came more guys feeling entitled to talking to more women, feeling like they had more options. And they just felt like it was easier. So yeah. And after like 10 years of that even being a thing, I'm pretty sure it's longer than that, but after 10-20 years of like online dating being a thing, people, like, it's way more intense now, to where men literally do not value women at all. They don't value what it is that you actually like. They don't value your purpose as a woman in a relationship. Like, they don't value it, because they just see you as something that they can easily acquire, because they have all these options now. They can just go on dating sites. And what's dangerous is I've seen men with podcasts literally training other men on how to message as many women on a dating app as they can, and then like whoever responds, that'll be the one that they try to get whatever it is they want from. And so like when men stopped taking women as serious, because they felt like they had all this access and options, they started to view online dating as like a game. Like, they literally use it as a game and a tool to try to get try to take advantage of women, try to use women. And a lot of women are unsuspecting still of this. Like, they're so unsuspecting, and a lot of women are still used to pedestalizing the men in our life. Like, if we choose a man to like be with, we're still like so Like, we literally take on the man's identity. We want to please him so much when we're in a relationship. And so women are so, and we're quick to do that. You know, if there's a guy we like, we're quick to like submit to him and do what he wants just to please him. So a lot of women have been taken advantage of by men on these dating sites, and like it's just gotten so much worse to the point where women are literally being killed, they're being kidnapped, they're being hurt, all meeting these men on these websites. And yeah, it's horrible how far that it's gotten. The online dating culture has just made men really entitled and abusive towards women, to where women are literally losing their lives. And it's just horrible, and women need to stay safe out there, wake up to this reality that things are not the same as it was years ago. You can't just meet a guy and automatically trust him and dedicate your life to him. And you know, you can't just do that anymore, because your life is literally on the line, and it's just not safe. It's not safe to keep going out and moving like you used to pre-pandemic, because a lot of things have changed since then. There's a lot of incels on the internet that are really angry that, you know, that even though online dating exists and they feel like they have all these options, a lot of men out there are upset that they can't really still get women, that, you know, there are women out there who have high standards, and that really upsets them. It upsets them that they can't just have whatever woman they want, because now they have the ability to like see a whole bunch of different women on social media and everything. So they feel like they're entitled to multiple women, and just because they have the ability to like see them and have access to like message them and stuff. But it ain't safe out here. It just really isn't. So that's why this alternative measure, this alternative way of dating, I would say is the safest, like by far. Like, if you're gonna interact with men still, like, it's the safest, because you don't have to meet up with them. You don't have to go through the gaslighting and the abuse. And gaslighting is something that I'm going to talk about in another video, because the level of gaslighting that these men have put women under in order to endure abuse, and, you know, like their misogyny and abuse and everything, like the gaslighting is sickening. Like, it's so sickening. And I'm gonna expose it all to you guys, to you ladies. And yeah, just know that things are very different nowadays, and you can't move the same as how you used to move. There's a lot of aggressive men out there, and you know, they will try to take advantage of you, either physically, financially, or they will try to break you down emotionally, because there's a lot of men out here that are just not right in the head. And women need to smarten up. We need to get smarter. We need to stop just letting men come into our lives just because, you know, we met them or we ran into them somewhere, or because they found us on the internet. We need to stop just opening our lives to them and, giving them access to our time and energy and space when they haven't earned it. And so this channel is going to be a lot about setting your boundaries, making a man earn your presence, because your presence as a woman is literally, it's worth more than gold. Like, once you realize this, your entire life will change. My entire life changed after I realized my worth and what the power of my presence is. My entire life changed, and I literally went from being an abused woman who had no self-worth, no self-esteem, no self-value. I went from being that woman. I was broke. I was abused. I was mentally, I wasn't in a good place at all. I hit rock bottom, and I really was just tired. I was tired of everything. I was tired of how men would treat me, that I was in relationships with for years. Like, I would be in a relationship with a man for 4 or 5 years, and then I would be abused horribly. And I went from being abused to literally living like a goddess, to being treated like a goddess. I went from being broke to being fully provided for and treated like the goddess that I am, all because I chose to awaken the inner goddess within me, to realize that I deserved those things. I deserved to be cared for. I deserved to have security and safety, and I deserved to have I deserve to be taken care of by the universe. I just decided in my soul that, I am a goddess, and I awakened to the true nature, because this was my true nature, and it was always deep within me, and it's deep within you too. And if you don't think this is possible, just know that you have a goddess within you. It's within every single woman, and you just have to awaken her. And once you do, your entire life will change. You will be treated with the respect you deserve, with the money you deserve, and with, anything that you've ever wanted. You can bring it into your life once you awaken to your goddess, your inner goddess. And that's why I named the channel Awaken to Your Goddess, because I want every single woman to awaken to the goddess within them. And I want women to also realize that you don't need to be actually in a relationship with a man and play a man's games if you don't want to. Like, if you truly don't want that, you can still be provided for, and you can still live comfortable. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to, do anything that you don't want to do. Because when you realize that you're a goddess, it's life becomes whatever it is you want to do. So, yeah. I hope you ladies enjoy this video, and I'll be making more. And if you enjoy this message and you want to awaken your goddess and the goddess of the women around you, to live your best life, to not worry about the unrealistic standards that men have set in society. If you want to awaken your inner goddess, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.